I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here, not wanting to talk about the price of eggs. That's because we got the bestest of all the good eggs. Right here, Tanya Richard.
Hi.
Hello.
I can't hear you in my headphones.
Oh, you can't?
Nope. Oh, well.
Well, there we go. You'll be
Hello.
there.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. We're so happy that you're here.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Ellen is doing her cruising for her bluesing thing.
I swear, I thought she already did that.
Nope,
Did she do it more than once a year?
No, it's just once a year. Well, I think there was one special, like, New Orleans blues.
Something. I feel like that was the last time I was here.
Kind of vibe. Yeah.
That was... Am I messing with the sound right now?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to hear it. Okay. I don't know what's happening.
Are you having a hard time hearing me?
Yeah, I mean, you're in front of me, so I can hear you, but I just can't hear you.
Right on. We will figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Look, some sort of gremlin has taken over WCPT. I think I'm going to blame... I'm probably going to blame the new administration on this, but like our phones are a little wackadoo.
Yep.
So we've got some technical issues today, but you know what?
Talk for me.
Talk for dance for me.
I mean, I
still can't hear me.
It's okay.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll figure it out.
It's okay. I mean, I can hear you across from me.
It's good. You were good at lip reading.
Thank you.
I love that.
Do you know that an entire Broadway theaters lost its power yesterday?
What?
Right? So I'm obsessed with The Outsiders on Broadway.
Oh,
and
okay.
I follow some of the performers.
Okay,
and they had to cancel the matinee because all of the electricity went out in the theater. So something's going on.
There, I'm telling you.
From Broadway to Chicago.
Broadway to Jefferson Park. We're on the same grid.
Yes.
Because, we're outsiders as well.
We really are.
Are we? We are right now, us progressive folks.
I mean, gosh.
So, so friends out there that are listening, thank you so much for listening. We are a little, we're trying to figure things out live on air, which is the best thing about live radio.
It makes it
there
exciting.
We are. It does. And hopefully, I know we've got one guest.
Oh.
We might have two.
Oh.
Hopefully. I'm still waiting to hear back because, technology and things, because this is all new. But I'm so happy after pausing its operations last year to reorganize and create a new business model. Chicago's Tony Award winning Looking Glass Theater Company is in association with the Actors Gymnasium. They are finally returning to the stage.
Yay.
I'm so excited with Circus Coyote, and we're going to be talking with the new managing director, Jamie Lundblad, in the second hour. And fingers crossed, because, it's a hit. A palpable hit. See what I did there?
I did.
That's from Hamlet. That's from Hamlet. And Goodman Theater and Definition Theater are co-producing Fat Ham, which is the Pulitzer Prize winning play that is an adaptation, a hilarious adaptation of Hamlet.
Yes.
It's a hit.
Yes.
A palpable hit.
And I don't get it. What do you mean it's a palpable hit? What does that mean?
It's from Hamlet.
It is?
Yes. It's
just because you're a smarty pants, I don't think you need to shame me this early in the morning.
Well, it's not that. It's 11 o'clock, lady. Come on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's from the sword fight between Hamlet and Laertes.
Wow.
And where Hamlet goes, boop.
That was a deep cut. You are smart.
Get it? A cut?
That was good.
Old cut?
I didn't even know what I just did. Boom. I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's when Hamlet goes in, boop, and he hits him.
Did you introduce me?
I didn't. Oh, my God. Hi. Did I? I think I did. Tanya Richard. I did. Tanya Richard. I just didn't mention your podcast, Tanya's Take. Stuff and Junk.
Hey, yes.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
I just realized that we did what we do.
I called you a good egg because I didn't want to talk about the price of eggs. And you're the best egg.
That's right. Thank you.
But Tanya Richard is here. Ellen is off. There we are. Ellen is off on a blues cruise. Do we need to start this whole thing all over? Yeah,
I told you I've been blacking out.
We've all been dissociating.
We've been dissociating. Yeah, we have.
I am like, boom.
I know.
I'm up here.
I know.
Just kind of looking.
I know.
Stuff.
And if y'all feel the same, we're here with you. We're going to work through it. We are.
But here's the thing. If you do want to reach out to us, I'm not sure if the Facebook live stream is not up, but you can message us through the Facebook. So go to Out Chicago Radio and give us a little message there. And you can also text us at 773-763-9278. That number again is 773-763-9278. You can text us there, we think. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, there we go. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Hopefully we'll have Fat Ham later on in the show, but we don't know.
Yeah.
I know, it's all just a mystery. We're all going to be discovering it together.
The cast of Fat Ham.
Is
Get out
ridiculous.
of here. It's insane.
Ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And you performed at the Goodman Theater.
You need to perform?
And you have.
I have performed at the
I
Goodman
have as
Theater.
well, but that was a long time ago.
What did you do?
I did the Edward Albee Festival.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did 2 of the shows. I did The Death of Bessie Smith and Finding the Sun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Goodman.
I enjoy the Goodman as well.
The Goodman.
And people have been enjoying the Fat Ham. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a hit, a palpable hit. Are we doing this again? This is like Groundhog Day. That's next month.
Tanya Rashard's on the show today.
Tanya Rashard is on the show today. She's the host of the podcast, Tanya's Take, Stuff and Junk.
Oh, God.
How are you? How are you, my friend? Aside from blacking out.
I am good. I think it's important to have the gratitude that I am healthy. I am.
Yep.
My family is healthy and safe, and that's somewhere to begin anyway. I mean, everything around us is chaos, but at least I can say, I've got my feet on the ground, and I am blessed.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. That's a good attitude.
How about you?
It's so funny. I was hoping to save this for to lead into the next segment, but truthfully,
yeah.
And I was texting with you yesterday and with the entire team, just being like, "Hi, I am flummoxed. I am on how to approach what is going on right now. Because we are on a progressive talk radio station. There is a slight expectation that we talk about progressive things. One would think, and talk about all the madness that is going on in the world. As we begin the 47th Reich, which is how I'm going to refer to this administration, because it's a lot. It's a lot. But then, it hasn't even been a full week yet, and it has been an absolute deluge of executive orders, Nazi salutes, and really bad hats.
By design.
That hat?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, literally and figuratively.
Heck yeah,
but the chaos and the...
but the chaos. But that's what I'm realizing. It's okay, because the whole thing has been overwhelming. It's been fear-baiting. It has been anxiety-producing. And then we have to remember that is the intention.
Yes.
That is what they want to do. To get us all riled up, to instill fear, and to distract clear-minded, thoughtful, progressive folks like us with the flurry of shenanigans and cruelty that's going on right now. And that is what we have to remember. That is the intention. And the only thing right now that we have any control over is how to respond to all of the shenanigans. And I think right now what I am trying to do is not be so macro. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. There's so much going on in the world. They're going after so many different people, and just chumming the water for their base. That's it. Chumming the water for the base and stirring up anxiety for the people who are not. And we have to see what are their actions, what are the actual actions that are happening, and then we can respond. But right now, it's just too much.
Yeah, I heard something great, which I will bring here, which is there's a difference between information and knowledge. And so a lot of the stuff in particular that you're picking up on social media, it's just information, and it's not deeply vetted, it's not researched. But knowledge is what you can do. You can seek knowledge, you can listen to experts, you can find your sources that you trust and do those deeper dives to get true knowledge. Because if we stay on this surface level of information, we will go mad, period. We will go mad. And we don't got time for that.
We don't have time for that. And that's why, again, I've been limiting. Like, although I will say that this week I did dip my toes into a little more
I did
newsy
not.
stuff. I know. I said that's okay. And people that's great. You've got to know where you are.
Yeah. Did you watch a second of the inauguration?
No.
Yeah.
No. But I was dumb and I did listen to a little bit. I kind of have to. You know what I mean? I kind of have to.
Yeah.
Just because again.
Yeah.
Progressive talk station.
Ooh,
Progressive talk show.
man.
Talking about the gays. Sorry, things are like going off, and I'm trying to see what's happening, but nothing happened there. But yeah, it's I've kind of tuned in a little more than I have been, but I also have been limiting. Like there is a duration. I listened to a little bit of that talking cat, but just kind of talk more. It was the whole thing was Anyway, we can get into that later. But I
don't know. It just Anyways.
But I do before we dive into too much. I do want to give a big old shout out. Yesterday, I went to go see Avaz at Chicago Shakespeare. We had Michael Cheyenne on the show a couple weeks ago. He wrote and he stars in this one-person show, Avaz, which is about it is a beautiful love letter to his mother, who fled Iran during the hostile, the regime and everything that was going on there, the end of the Shah and all that stuff. She fled to Los Angeles, which she calls Tehrangeles. And it was her story. It was exactly what I expected from our conversation. It really was just him. It was a celebration of all of the sacrifices and tribulations that his mother had to endure. Also exploring a little bit their complicated relationship as being like a queer man and, queer Iranian Jew, that whole aspect. But the whole piece is so joyful.
Wow.
I walked into the space. It's in the upstairs studio at Chicago Shakespeare, which is one of my favorite venues in the entire city. Also, one of the best views of the city are from the bathrooms.
All right.
Up there on the 6th floor of Chicago Shakespeare.
Good to know.
Just to let you know, I'll show you a picture. I took one. But it's stunning. But when you walk into this space, so it's an intimate, I would say 150, maybe 200. That's max. Walk in, and I wanted to live on that set. It is green. It is verdant. It is a table set up for Iranian New Year. It has all of the 7, I think they were called the 7 sins, even though they're not sins. They are things that begin with S's in Farsi. So it's all over there, these beautiful mirrors. It's green, it's verdant, it's electric pink, it is blue, it is all this beautiful, gigantic vessels filled with apples and sumac and garlic and vinegar and it's just
wow.
Yeah, it was quite the balm for this horrible time, and also just this horribly cold weather.
Is it still running?
It just opened up, so it's going to run through, I believe, February 9th at Chicago Shakespeare. You should go and check it out.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's just lovely. He is delightful.
Nice.
He was a delightful interview. He's an incredible performer. It was just wonderful. So again, that is.
Gotta add that to the list.
I know, Avaz at Chicago Shakespeare. There we are. Yeah, I guess that would be a good time to remind you that did you know that out Chicago, us, we have our very own podcast. What? Actually, 2.
Get out of here.
I will not, because then there will be, it would just be you to talk. And that, as lovely as that would be, you might fall off a chair or black out again.
Do not
or just,
appreciate you bringing that up.
Well, I sure as heck loved watching it happen in slow motion.
For y'all who don't know what we're talking about, I co-hosted one day and fell over in a chair live on air And somehow we managed not to lose all control, though it was hard.
It was very difficult.
And that chair is right over there.
I thought it looked familiar. I was like, was that the culprit? It wasn't my fault. It tossed me out of it. I don't even want to.
It was a slow motion.
Ooh, I have the video. It is
stunning.
Chef's kiss.
It was
amazing.
It was incredible. And just kind of like,
you know what? I need to post it because it really brings a lot of people joy.
It brings me joy because it was kind of like, do you remember Eddie Murphy, Delirious?
Yeah.
Do you remember that special?
Of course.
You know, when he was talking about Aunt Bunny falling down the stairs. Oh, Lord, help me. Oh, now help me. I'm halfway down. Like, that's what it was.
But that's the thing is I had to be silent. I fell over silently, and then I was dying laughing and could not make a sound. And somehow managed to get a question in at the end of that interview. I was proud of that.
You are a professional.
I am a pro.
And that is why we have you here filling in for Ellen Miller.
Mm-hmm.
We love that. You know, and then you can also be featured on the podcast because, again, there are 2 of them. Not only they're just full episodes of Out Chicago, and then there's Out Chicago featured episodes. What?
That's
Featured
cool.
interviews? What? I know. So just search for Out Chicago wherever you get your podcasts or get the podcast links on our show page by visiting heartlandsignal.com/out-Chicago.
This is new, yeah?
It is. Yeah. I know. It's really great. And on that page, you're going to find recent interviews with Michael Cheyenne, who we just talked about. If you want to hear a little bit more about the show and about the creation of it, it was really weird because when we spoke with him, he actually flew back to LA because this was right when the fires were starting.
God.
So he was at home checking on Mom and family. So there was a little bit of that, but we also have clips of our conversations with Randy Rainbow, Judy Gold, Chicago alderperson Lamont Robinson, Michelle Williams from Death Becomes Her, and much more. There we go. Tanya just pulled it right on up.
All right. All right.
I know. I would say you could show it to the camera, but none of the cameras work. The cameras don't work. But again, you can go to heartlandsignal.com/out-Chicago to find that out.
Yay.
Great. Why don't we take a break?
Okay.
We can gird our loins because we're gonna have to start talking about some icky. Mm-hmm. Some ickiness.
We got this.
We got this. We got this, everybody. And we hope that you stick around with us. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Welcome back. I'm Lennox McGee.
I'm David Dodd, and we're the hosts of The Sip.
You're listening to
Out Chicago on WCPT 820.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Tanya Rashad,
It's me.
host of the podcast, Tanya's Take. Stuff and Junk.
Stuff and junk.
Yeah. It's really not called Stuff and Junk. It used
It's
to be
not
called.
really,
It
but
used to
it
have a
should
little
be.
tagline at the end.
It should.
But then I just gave another one because it's Stuff and Junk.
I like it. I want to credit the person who said the information versus knowledge thing. Her name is Brittany Cooper. She's brilliant. And she is at Professor lowercase dash Crunk on the Instagram.
Come on, Professor Crunk.
Okay.
Speaking of Crunk, have you seen Conk? Conk on Earth.
No, what is
Oh my
it?
God, it's on Netflix.
Conk
I
on.
think it's Conk or maybe it's Kunk. It is this lady. What is Conk on Earth? She's so. It's kind of like a Kunk.
Oh, yes.
It's
I
a
know who you're talking
mockumentary.
about. Yeah.
It is so funny.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
She is hilarious, and she's done stuff like Kunk on like. There are different art things that she goes through. She's the latest one that I think that was available now is about like existence.
Right, and she does these interviews.
She does these interviews.
Plays it completely straight, asking the most absurd questions.
Yes.
To people who I don't think they realize.
They have to. I mean,
There's one I
they
saw
have to
recently.
prepare.
I was like, it looks like he's in on it, but I don't know if they're in on it.
I don't know if they're in on it. It's very much like a Daily Show, John Oliver kind of.
But Andy Kaufman-esque.
Andy Kaufman-esque because it is so surreal. It's that great British sensibility.
Yeah,
It's just so
it's funny.
It is really, really funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got me
No.
talking about.
Not at
It was
all.
Professor Crunk.
Professor Crunk.
And it got me to think of Kunk on Earth.
I got you.
You see that? You see where that?
Yeah, I see
followed?
it. It was very,
There you go. We're able to make these gigantic.
Thank you for tracking that. For
You're
me.
welcome. You're welcome. Yes, nothing but headlines and the latest things. But actually, you know what? If you do want to catch up on headlines and everything, since we're kind of a mess right over here, Monday on Choose Views, Richard Chu is going to be here taking your calls, maybe, and talking to Nathan Schrader, professor of political science at New England College, Creek Stewart, survival expert and author of Disaster Survival 101. Should we be that worried? Should we be that worried? Okay. And investigative journalist and documentary filmmaker Greg Palast. Choose Views weekdays from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820. That was a little...
Yeah, that brought it home.
That brought it home.
Wow.
Did it not? All right. So, okay, the inauguration happened this week.
Yeah.
We had the peaceful transfer of power. Yep. Along with... Girl, there was some just disgusting behavior that was happening in there. The booze.
Well, see, I don't know.
You don't know. But, it was just weird. Of course, there's all these conspiracy theories, so let's just pile on. This is totally not found. I'm also convinced that it was the Trump administration that has taken down our phone lines today. That is what I've decided.
Who knows?
It's not true. Although it might be, but I'm just saying that. Allegedly. How about that? Throw in allegedly? Are we good? We're good. I just got the thumbs up. We're good. Yes.
Kevin was
if I just say allegedly, we're okay. We're okay from a legal aspect.
Okay.
But I'm allegedly, I believe they moved into the rotunda, which was just weird that they're there.
I'm sorry, that made me so happy. Because it meant he couldn't get the supposed crowd size. And he was so mad.
I think they were already worried about the supposed crowd size, which is why they moved it in.
Yeah.
But at the same, just so many different things happening there. The fact that it was in the rotunda, where the 4 years ago, there was just doo-doo.
Right.
And violence and bear spray and baseball bats and stuff, all that happening. A little weird. But the acoustics in the place, and it was filled with all, Bravo. Of course it's going to be filled with supporters because, you want that happening. Right. But the supporters that were in there it was a bunch of tech bros, bevy of tech bros going on, and a bunch of people who have zero decorum, zero civility, and were booing everybody, all the former presidents that came out.
Oh, for God's sake.
The biggest ones being reserved for Mike Pence and, for some reason, Hillary Clinton still. That's the part that I'm like, wow. So this is where we are, kids. This is where we are, kids. This is this is how we kick things off. And then we were treated to Ding Dong's, trademark, the golden age of American carnage kind of thing going on again. And again, a whole bunch of tech bros. Is anybody else worried about these tech bros? Like I am worried about these tech bros? Because you do realize they control how we communicate with each other. That is one of the big things that they control. As you're talking about information versus knowledge, they control what information is let out and how that information is let out. So again, on Choose Views, there's going to be a survivalist, disaster survival at 101.
Yeah, but I think we have to be careful, Scott, right? Because it's like this idea, okay, so they control the knowledge and this and this. That's putting us on a road. They don't control the knowledge. They control the information. Yes. They control the information. But that's already putting us on a information highway versus a knowledge highway.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yep, okay.
Because
I knew you could talk me down.
Because as you were saying that, I was starting to go, oh my God. But it's true. It's like that is a headline. These tech bros control our information. But what's underneath that? What would need to happen? How safe or unsafe
Not much.
Well, we don't, but you
Okay.
don't know.
We don't know.
And why not know? right? So if you have the choice between like a scary headline and not knowing everything you'd need to know, and a scary headline and knowledge, why not seek the knowledge?
100%.
So I'm just saying that to myself because, like, literally, I could feel myself starting to get heart palpitations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know, it is, very intense.
It is, This is not very productive right now. We're just kind of spinning into
No, but that's what I mean. So I'm going to go, okay, what would actually be the chain of events that would need to happen? What does that actually mean? Because here's the thing. If they're controlling our information, they're controlling it through the sites in which we are complicit, right?
Right, yeah.
Meta, Instagram, X. So we can withdraw ourselves from that. That's one actionable
one thing
thing
that-
we can do. And then we aren't victim to whatever information they put out there.
Yeah. Agreed. So, but yeah, that's just one thing that's kind of been broiling under the surface for me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's wild.
It feels
When
like
has there ever been that type of a guest list at an inauguration?
I know. And it was so, and the cabinet, who these people are picking for cabinets, they were in the back.
Wild.
Yeah. So that happened. It was gross. You know, I kind of.
I'm going to keep pulling us from the edge.
I'm glad you are.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, you know, I sound like I'm dancing on the edge. I'm not, because again, like there's so much. Like their intention, the intention of this administration is to flood the zone with so much chaos and so much kookiness, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What? That you get, like, I can't do anything, as you were saying, like with all this information until you get the knowledge. And then you can find out what to do.
Here's the thing that makes me so angry and cannot stand and is so disgusting to me. And I don't even know the exact phrasing he used, but whatever language he used to suggest that the law of the land would recognize two genders makes me so... I am hurt. I am angry. How dare he? How dare he in an inauguration speech do that? And for a child to hear that, who may be transgender, I can't even.
Yeah,
I can't even.
All right, I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to read off. Okay, so there was a great piece in the New York Times, because I'm going to different sources.
Yes,
knowledgeable sources, reputable sources. That was talking about, okay, so this is what's happened in the first week, and their conclusion is that America is not the same as it was a week ago. So this is a list of the offenses that has happened. I'm going for them. Hold on to your butts, kids, because it's fun. All right, so from the New York Times, several efforts to address climate change have been rescinded and more land opened up to oil drilling. Oh, good. The government now recognizes only two, quote, immutable genders, male and female. Migrants, now referred to as aliens, are being turned away at the border, and immigrant agents have been free to target hospitals, schools, and churches in search of people to deport. Great. Large-scale tariffs have yet to be imposed, but nations around the world are bracing for those that Mr. Trump says will come on February 1st. Again, let's talk about those egg prices, kiddos. Your grocery bills are going to go through the roof here. Diversity efforts in the federal government have been dismantled and employees turned into snitches. Yeah. Poop, I should have sent you more about this article so we could talk about the DEI thing.
Oh, we can talk about it.
I know. Federal money will once again be barred from paying for abortions overseas. Mount Denali once again will be known as Mount McKinley, and the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America, at least according to the U.S. government. Hold on. Career officials at agencies across the government have been let go as part of Mr. Trump's pledge to get rid of what he considers disloyal members of the deep state. Security clearances and protections have been stripped from people that Mr. Trump considers political enemies, like Dr. Fauci. TikTok was given a temporary reprieve from a forced shutdown, even as Mr. Trump rescinded his predecessor's efforts to establish guardrails around the development of artificial intelligence. New regulations and new federal hiring are frozen for now, and more than 1,500 people who are convicted of crimes connected to the storming of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021 have been pardoned or had their sentences commuted, including those who assaulted police officers. That is where we are. That's where we are. That is what he has started.
Yep.
It's, yeah. That... Yes. But I think we need to, again, I keep going back to my internal Mr. Rogers, about like, let's look for the helpers. Let's look for things that are going to help us. And this is going to be weird, especially for being like the big gay show and everything, especially with where there is such a strange and unique relationship between a lot of queer folks and faith and organized religion. But I do think that faith leaders are going to play a very big part in, shall we say, the resistance. I do think so. We started off this week made me very, very, very proud to be an Episcopalian, because on Tuesday during the prayer, I forget the whole title of it, but there was, at the National Cathedral,
Sure.
which is an Episcopal cathedral, you have people from all faiths and all different traditions there to lead into a prayer breakfast kind of thing, kind of moment going into. And the Right Reverend Marianne Edgar Buddy, she's amazing. She was amazing. She is the bishop of of Washington, D.C., of the diocese there. That is no small feat. And my sister, who is an Episcopal priest in Iowa.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yep, she is an Episcopal priest in Iowa. They too have just been under they were under a new search for bishop. I understand that process. I understand how lengthy, how challenging, how well vetted these candidates are, and to have her as a bishop, because ding dong then, after she said what she said, came out and called her a so-called bishop, and that she shouldn't be preaching from the pulpit, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
all that good stuff. But I went through and I listened to all of her entire homily, which is about 15 minutes. There's the chunk that really has been standing out and getting a lot of airplay this week is just the one, which of course we are going to play. But throughout the entire her entire homily, she was focusing on the idea of unity. And we are, and in terms of like as a community, as a country, as a as a world, like what does it mean to be like, how do we strive for unity in a time when things are wackadoodle, to say the least, And she came out based on like her faith practice and based on her sacred texts. She was like, these are the three standards, the pillars of what makes unity. Honoring the inherent dignity of every human being, honesty in private conversation and in public discourse, honesty and humility, knowing that we are all infallible because we are human. We are not perfect people. We're not a perfect country. That's why it's in order to form a more perfect union. So those are the three pillars of the unity. About, again, honoring the inherent dignity of every human being, honesty and humility. And the hard thing that I think that we all need to remember, all of us, is that when we start getting into right versus wrong, even though it does seem some things are completely morally wrong that is happening, we turn the conversation into good versus evil. And that's where things get tricky. And not being able to to be humble and to listen to what somebody else is saying, to try to understand their perspective. Now, when you hear that and you're still humble, you can challenge and have a civil discourse. That's what I mean. It's like that goes back to they're all intersected. The honoring dignity, the honesty, like being really honest, like when you're having conversations. Right. What does this mean? And the humility to say, like, I'm wrong, or there are things that we don't know, and we're trying to. Right.
Yes. I mean, that, I think, go ahead.
No, I feel like
I just feel like that definitely works between, I think, within community. I think that's awesome. I wonder, though, in relation to the administration, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, and I don't know if they are willing to do that either,
right?
Because
it takes a mutual thing, right.
Kind of thing. And at the end of her homily, she wrapped it up with something that's pretty much been everywhere this week. But again, as a good old Episcopalian boy, I was very, very proud. And she took a moment to directly address the ding dong.
So powerful.
In ways that were full of grace, coming towards it with humility, and a spirit of God. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. Here is what she said at the end of her homily at the National Cathedral on Tuesday.
Let me make one final plea. Mr. President, millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
I mean, come on, right, Reverend Marianne Edgar, buddy.
Ooh. Wow.
Like, just really powerful words. And as somebody who, I did throw up in my mouth on Monday when he professed that he was saved by God so that he could
right. That is good.
But what's so great, this is why I'm not the Bishop of Washington, and she is. She was like, all right, so since you know that you feel the love of God, that you must remember that love and the teachings. Yeah. So good.
Did you know that she helped Matthew Shepard's parents lay his remains to rest?
in the cathedral?
Yeah. Because his gravesite was so frequently being vandalized. Yeah.
Yep.
So she helped them move his ashes, and now there's a plaque. And, she says there will be children who see this plaque and can talk about what happened. And, the bravery, the presence of mind, the...
Do you think it's brave, though? It just seems...
In that context, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know. Okay.
You don't think it was?
I think it was her duty. Is what it felt like. It's like you have...
if something's your duty,
true.
Doesn't mean it's not brave.
Easy. That's true. That's true. That's true. But it seems to me like, I don't know. This is where I think that faith leaders are going to be a very important voice.
Yes. I mean, who have the humanity and the humility and the...
True. Yeah. No. I mean, like in terms of, just in terms of the bigger things, like we know that there are people who use the pulpit to preach nothing but like hate and vitriol and division. And there are people who actually read the Bible, who interpret the Bible as a way of the first thing is love. Yeah. Above all, there is love.
And of course now they have all villainized her, and
which is just so which is just so crazy. But there's also, but I think in terms of, again, I hate to use this term like the resistance, but that kind of feels like what's necessary right now. But I do think there have been reports, like I believe the Chicago Catholic Diocese has come out to talk about how they are the congregation. They are sanctuary congregations with all of the ICE raids that are expected to come. They were supposed to start here on Tuesday, but then they changed their mind because whoever the border czar is or whatever was like, it got leaked. It's like, yeah, dum-dum, you were the one who kept talking about it. Yeah. So of course we were all just ready to go. But I do think, there are religious organizations that are speaking to communities that are preaching about kindness, about these about honoring the inherent dignity of every human being, about honesty, and about humility. And I think as we progress, because we have had this barrage of executive orders, they're executive orders, nothing's like signed into law and all that stuff, that while this is happening, I think there are people we already know there are people who have buyer's remorse with this guy. Whatever. Yeah, no, like don't even, you got us into it.
No.
But I think that you're going to have to help us get us out. And I think, like I said, surprisingly, I think that not surprisingly, maybe surprisingly, that I think faith leaders are going to have a very, very strong role to play in terms of preventing some of just like things that just are outright cruel.
Outright cruel. And I would say two things. Number one, do we have a
go? Yeah.
Scott and I both. So Scott wore a sweater with a smiley face graphic today. I wore a sweatshirt that says kindness. And it speaks to, when I talk about her bravery, I don't mean that in a singular way. I mean, that is going to be what is asked of us. I'm a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant, which now for the administration is a 4-letter word. Yeah. And I need to be as brave. Bravery needs to become our default if we are able, if we can put ourselves in those front lines. And she took that privilege, whatever privilege she felt she had, that she could do that. And while I say it's brave, it doesn't mean it isn't also being asked of us in whatever capacity that we can do it.
Yeah, live your values. Yeah. That's the one thing that I've really been taking. We talked about this after the election. I think was that the last time you were on? I think it was.
Was it?
It's back in November, I believe so. But we talked about people who are feeling anxiety and feeling anxious and fearful. One of the things that helps allay those fears and allays your anxiety is action. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a big action. It can just be live your values, know who you are, know what you stand for, and speak up for what you stand for. That, I think, is like That is what I believe she did.
And that's what I so get about what you said, which is like, oh, did you think it was brave? In the sense, it's like, that's literally the most simple line. She has the value, and she spoke it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now we're getting deep. We're cute. We're cute.
We're
and
cute.
deep.
We're wearing graphics.
And we should probably take a break. We will take a break. We're going to take a quick little pause. And when we come back, there's more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
I'm Israel Wright with National Gay and Lesbian Sports Hall of Fame. Welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with the wonderful Tanya Richard, host of the podcast Tanya's Take. She's a writer. She's an activist. She's a DEI specialist. She is a very bad mime, which if you were just in here, it looked like she was trapped in a box. But we know that you cannot be contained in a box because you contain multitudes. Correct?
That's
Tanya
right.
Richard,
That's right.
Tanaya Richards. You are my favorite dum-dum.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so I got a question for you.
All right.
Why do people hate DEI so much?
Because they're afraid they're going to lose power.
Yeah. That's
That's it. They're
it.
going to lose. I don't know anybody who's not white who hates DEI.
Right. Wait, what?
So, really?
Huh. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's not a fair comment, but it's like the people who are afraid of DEI are the people who are afraid of losing power. And they don't understand that it's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
And their lack of understanding around that is so boring.
It's really boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really, really, really boring.
It's not interesting.
No, and it's so...
No, go ahead.
No, you
I mean, I'm saying that, and then it's like interesting or boring doesn't matter. It is the engine that fuels this administration, and it is why a group of people can be manipulated into thinking that the current person in office is the right choice. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually very dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. It really, because it's chumming the waters, again, for all of this happened that's been going on this week has been nothing but to see promises made, promises kept kind of stuff.
Right.
And they are not willing to honestly and with humility look at themselves to be like, how racist am I?
Well, it's so intense because we've always known of the racism, but the way in which this week just was so flagrantly just like a kid with a tantrum, and I'm getting rid of this and I'm gonna get rid of that. And it's just like, oh, okay. But you know what you can't do so far is do that with the individuals who will find a way to teach it and to model it and to continue to fight the good fight.
I don't understand why people are mad at businesses. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, because they're like, I don't understand why businesses are getting rid of DEI stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that does nothing except make your business stronger.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I imagine that the businesses who were doing it, who now so easily can give it up, were just doing it for performative reasons.
Yeah,
so now they're like, thank God we don't got to keep this up.
Yeah.
Because the ones who weren't doing it for performative reasons aren't
giving it
ending
up.
it.
Yeah.
So that is, the quiet part out loud has been said, and so people who where it felt hard or they didn't like it or it made them uncomfortable are just like, whoa.
Yeah, we don't
We don't have to do it anymore. You know?
Yeah, we don't like it. Yeah, because DEI is why we hate America. Apparently, the way we hate our country.
Yeah,
that's kind of what that whole spin has been.
It's fair. Well, and the other thing is that people don't, white people who don't like DEI don't recognize that they are also diverse. So one of the things I always talk about in it is that when you bring a group of people together, a lot of the time the white people in the room are like, I don't understand why I'm here. It's like, because you are also diverse. And diverse has a diversity is a range of things, geographics, neurological processing, religion, all of those things. So ability. So the idea of diversity is not strictly skin-based.
Right.
And it actually benefits everybody for real. Like, if you're white in the room, you are also bringing your diversity to that space. So how do we create a space where everyone feels seen, heard, respected, and safe, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Look how easy that is.
Right? Whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. It's real silly.
It is real silly. It is really, really silly. Almost like writing a law that's declaring that there are only two genders.
Oh my God.
It's just
that one. I don't know.
Well, this whole, of course, you might not know this because you've been taking a little news break, but that there was that whole Mike Johnson passed that bill about how the women's bathrooms at the Capitol are for biological women only. Did you also know that stupid Lauren Boebert and stupid Nancy Mace got in trouble because they were harassing somebody? They followed them into the bathroom and said, "You're not supposed to be here," and thinking that it was Representative Sarah McBride, the first openly trans person in Congress, and it wasn't her.
Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah. And also, what's up with Nancy Mace? Because 5-10 years ago, she was totally supportive of transgender rights. So it's like, it's not even real. What's happening?
It's weird. It's chumming the waters. But we got to chum our way into a break for some news and some other junk and stuff.
I'm laughing at you.
I know. I know. I'm glad you are. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, there is more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Tanya Richard.
Hello.
Host of the podcast, Tanya's Take. Stuff and Junk. And writer, activist, actor, DEI specialist, polka dancer.
I mean, should go first.
That should go first.
It really should.
Tanya Richard, polka dancer. Who believes in kindness because she wears it on her shirt.
That is my number
smiley
one thing.
Faces. Yes. There we are. Well, welcome to the second hour about Chicago. As we said at the top of the show, we are experiencing some weird gremlins here in the studio. Phones are kind of wackadoodle, but we would love to hear from you. So you can always text us your thoughts at 773-763-9278. That number again is 773-763-9278. We've been flying on a wing and a prayer, and we're very, very happy. Hopefully, we're going to be having some guests down the road, but we do have a guest right now, thanks to the power of technology. And I'm so excited. I'm a weirdo theater geek like that. Look, after pausing its operations last year, to kind of reorganize, create a new business model. Chicago's Tony Award-winning Looking Glass Theater Company, in association with the Actors Gymnasium, makes its triumphant return to the stage with Circus Quixote, and joining us now is the brand new managing director of Looking Glass Theater Company, Jamie Lundblad. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Scott, how are you? Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
I am so great. Good to hear from you. Congrats on the new gig.
Thank
how are
you
things
so
going?
much. Things are going great. It's been, this Thursday is my four-month anniversary on the job. Oh. And it's also the very first day that we'll reopen our doors to the public after about 18, 19 months of hiatus. So it's a really exciting week.
Is that a big event Thursday, or is there fanfare? And
we're having several events this week. We're doing a little ribbon cutting event this week. Some programs out in the community. Thursday's first preview will be a big event for us, but then the main opening night is February 8th.
Awesome.
So,
I know. I'm so very excited. And I'm so excited that you, Jamie, are in this new position.
Thank you.
Don't tell about Face Theater, but Looking Glass is like my favorite theater company in Chicago. It's so
I'm
wonderful.
so glad to hear that.
It really is like every time I go there, it is just a font of like creativity and expression and beauty and truth. And it is just thrilling to go see a Looking Glass theater company production. What brought you to the company? We'll get into all that good stuff, but let's talk about you.
Sure.
Jamie Lumbland. Come on.
Sure. Well, I've been a long time. I've been in Chicago more than 30 years, and so I've known Looking Glass, and I've been a big fan of their work, and I've seen many, many shows. But for the last, I guess, 11 and a half years, I was at the City of Chicago's Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, or DCASE. And, 10 years is a long time anywhere. So I was looking for my next challenge, and this presented itself to me, and it seemed like a great opportunity to really, bring back a cultural gem and a beloved Chicago arts institution, and really be part of that rebirth, like not stepping into something that was fully baked, but really having a chance to help mold the future for this organization. So I couldn't be more honored to be in this role and to be working with the board and the staff and the ensemble to make it all happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So can we just talk briefly about the pause? Because I know,
sure,
it was one of those moments for me. I mean, I remember when it was 18 months ago, and I received the press release, and as an actor and a part of the theater community here in Chicago, hearing that was one of it.
It felt like the end of days.
It was like it did. Like, it felt like we need to listen to Che Yu tomorrow about like that survivalist guide. But it was. But it really was like, oh, this is a kind of a gut punch,
Right.
Oof. What changes have been implemented? And as you said, like, this is kind of a wonderful time for you to, be a part of like a living moment, to help shape the new direction. What changes have been implemented? What were some of the biggest lessons learned?
Sure.
So you can rise triumphantly.
Yeah, I mean, that a lot of arts organizations, and especially performing arts organizations, really struggled coming out of the pandemic. They were, some of the first to close and then some of the last to reopen because of social distancing and all sorts of reasons. But also, audience behavior changed pretty dramatically. People were staying at home more, watching on screens, going out less often, and the cost of producing theater just kept rising and rising. So, Looking Glass got caught up in that financial issue, and ultimately decided it was not a sustainable model that they currently had. So they did pause operations and spent that time doing a lot of soul searching and strategic planning and thinking about, what the ensemble board and staff really wanted to be doing going forward. And so the new business model, at least for the next couple of seasons, will be 2 shows on our main stage per season. But we're also looking at all sorts of other cultural programming in our new lobby space, new educational programming around town, and then ways to diversify our revenue so that we're, not only relying on ticket sales, but also revenue through our scene shop or through touring or co-production. So, the new business model is a combination of all those things.
Yeah, and now it has led us up to the triumphant return.
Yes.
With Circus Coyote, written Coyote. That's my neighbor's dad.
That would be great.
I know. My neighbor's dad is called Coyote. It's very strange. Circus Coyote, which is written and directed by Carrie and David Catlin.
Oh, wow.
Look, I am this is where I'm going to nerd out. David Catlin.
Yeah.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Like, he has been behind Looking Glass. Alice, he was behind Moby Dick, which I still think about it today. Like a whale jumped over the whole audience. It was just a sheet. A whale jumped over. Like, it was just one of the most incredible moments. Tell us about the new production of Circus Quixote. Not Coyote. That's going to be starting previews on the 30th.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We think it's going to be a big hit and very Looking Glass, a really great show to reopen with. It's a circus version of Don Quixote of La Mancha, and it's written and directed by David Catlin and his wife Carrie, who David is one of our founding ensemble members when the company was founded back in 1988 with David Schwimmer and others. He's been there from the beginning. And another ensemble member, Sylvia Hernandez Distasi, who is also a longtime ensemble member. She's handling all the circus components of the show. I've watched some workshops, sat in on some readings. Of course, I'm seeing them rehearse in the theater space, and it's just incredible. Like, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it's spectacular. All those things that people love about Looking Glass. And we're starting previews on the 30th of January. We run through March 30th, so there's a good long run for folks to come and check it out. Maybe we can also talk about this adjacent lobby space that we're opening, because that's part of the new Looking Glass experience. We have this new lobby bar and cafe that we're hoping to infuse with the energy of the show that's inside the theater as well.
Yeah, so please go on and talk about that, because I know as part of the rebirth, there is like you said, there's been renovations to the physical space of the building, which is of course in the historic the pumping station. Next near the water tower. It is. Yeah,
we're right across the street from the Chicago Water Tower in the Water Tower Waterworks building. It's a gorgeous historic building owned by the city. Looks like a castle, so it's perfect for theater. And, that space has been occupied by Looking Glass since, I think, 2003, but also there's been a library branch and there's been a tourism bureau, lots of different activities going on there. But in 2019, before the pandemic, Looking Glass got a very significant grant from the state of Illinois to start renovating that lobby space. Then the pandemic happened and the pause. But eventually we were able to start that work, and now that will be unveiled on the 30th as well. And it's a huge expansion of our lobby space that includes a beautiful new bar and cafe, as well as this really large space for community gatherings and our own cultural programming. And we're super excited about it and I'm personally really excited about it, because it's going to let us throw open our doors to Chicago in a way that we haven't done before. So we're going to be offering music and puppetry and improv and things that are theater adjacent to really broaden the appeal and hopefully bring in more people.
So will the space be open to the public like when there isn't like not at show times, kind of like the front bar at Steppenwolf?
Right. That's our eventual plan. Right now, it's going to be open around showtimes, before and during shows. But we hope that maybe by the summer, we'll expand the hours and expand the bar and cafe menu so people can stop by for coffee during the day or a drink at night outside of shows.
You had me at cafe.
I know, right?
You had me at cafe.
I think it's going to be really. Cafe. It's going to be great. There's not a lot, there's many things happening in that Mag Mile neighborhood, but nothing quite like this. And so we're excited to capture more of that, walk by tourist market during the summer and during the holidays, but also, people who live and work in the neighborhood. So we're excited for what that space can be.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it is expanding into, like you said, dipping your toes into different forms of performance. Well, there's music, there's puppetry, there's things. Again, one of the best things that I always say about the Chicago theater community is that it is a community. And we, like all the different companies, of course we're competing for, for audience members and blah, 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 all that stuff. But at the heart of it, it really is, we want people to succeed and to thrive. And I think with each Chicago organization, they feel they act almost as if they are a community center, to draw people into experience these wonderfully, incredibly stories like the new Circus Quixote that's going to be starting previews on the 30th at Looking Glass Theater Company. But just not even that, just having a place to gather afterwards, after a show, to process the show, or even young artists going into a space just to sit and work on their laptops and do whatever. There's something about creating a community that is so essential to the arts.
Yeah, and we hope, like the front bar at Steppenwolf, that people will come to expect that our ensemble and our creative team and our cast is going to be hanging out at the bar and cafe too. And so you'll see some, Looking Glass magic on the bar stool next to you. And we're also trying to really bring sort of theater making into that space. So before some of our shows, we're doing juggling one-on-one workshops. So people can, come a little bit early before they're, assigned showtime, and
up early enough for me to try to get juggling
and try their hand at something that they're going to see on stage.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. So we've got Circus Quixote is going to be coming up very, very soon. Again, if you have not seen a Looking Glass show, run, don't walk. It is some of the most inventive, as you said, spectacular theater that you will.
One of the pillars of Chicago theater.
It is. It really is. And it comes from this tradition that I loved so much. It was such a huge part of both of our lives
Back
in the 90s.
In the day, Looking Glass 90s, get out.
Come on, adaptation of literature. Just like the sheer will of the artistic expression. Here we are, and it's big.
So good.
And
it's
I've been listening to your conversation in the last half hour or so, and I think the arts are really important in this moment to bring people together and to heal some wounds, or but so I really think that the theater, the specific kind of theater that Looking Glass produces, is going to bring people together and really pump out joy into the community.
I believe that.
At a time when we really need it.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Lundblad, thank you so much for taking time out today.
Thank you.
To join us. Again, congratulations on the gig. It's not so new, but it's still a new gig. And I cannot wait to finally return to the glorious Looking Glass Theater in the Waterworks building right across from Water Tower to go see Circus Quixote, written and directed by Carrie and David Catlin. Performances start on the 30th of January, runs through March 30th. For reals, grab everybody that you can. You will not be disappointed with just the beauty and, as you said, the joy that comes from Looking Glass Theater. And for more information and for tickets, go to lookingglasstheater.org. It's a weird one to spell because there's a lot of G's and there's an R-E at the end because it's, it's fancy like that.
Exactly.
Jamie Lundblad, Managing Director of Looking Glass Theater Company. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
And break all the legs.
Thank you. So great to connect with you. I'm glad you're super fans. We'll see you at the theater.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
We gotta take a quick break, and when we come back, there is more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal. Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Tanya Rashad, host of Tanya's Take, Stuff and Junk, the podcast, actor extraordinaire. You've performed at the Goodman Theatre.
I have performed at the
I've
Goodman
performed
Theatre.
at the Goodman Theatre.
Yes.
And the Goodman Theatre right now has a hit, a palpable hit. It's from Hamlet. It is from Act 5. It is from Act 5.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, well, they do have a palpable hit right now because the Goodman Theatre, along with Definition Theatre, are presenting the Pulitzer Prize-winning play Fat Ham, a hilarious reimagining of Hamlet. And joining us now is actor Tremaine Alston. Tremaine, welcome to the show. And we're having some technical difficulties. I told you today that there are gremlins within our soundboard going on.
So
today.
many gremlins. Oh.
Did we lose Tremaine? All right. I feel kind of like that yodeler guy on The Price is Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then when he just tumping over, I was so excited. All right, there we are. So it looks like we've got a bit of a kerfuffle going on.
Yeah,
I can
am I here?
Tremaine.
I hear you as well.
We hear each other, and now we are best friends.
This is beautiful. We're connecting. Let's see how long it lasts.
I know, it's amazing. There we are. First of all, Tremaine, welcome to the show. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
hit,
you
a palpable hit.
Scott, if
A
you
palpable
stop
hit.
saying that.
See, he did it too.
Okay, does the line exist in the play at all? Does it happen to come up? I'm just wondering. I know it's Hamlet that the line appears in, but do any of you ever say palpable hit in the play?
No, unfortunately, there is no palpable hit.
Scott's leaving.
You're ganging up on me. I don't enjoy this. First of all, hey, my friend, how's it going? How are the shows going now that you've opened?
It has been so much fun, such a delight. There's such a great energy in the room, in the house. Audiences seem to be loving the show. It's a joy to do. Truly a dream.
Aw, that's awesome.
So can you tell the folks a little bit more about the Pulitzer Prize winning Fat Ham?
Well, it's a kind of Hamlet.
Oh no! We had a moment, a brief moment.
It's a kind of
of
Hamlet.
connection. It's lovely. And I think Devin is a technical magician. Here we are, and we are going to be hopefully rejoined again by actor Tremaine Alston, who is a part of the incredible cast at a Fat Ham at the Goodman Theatre in a co-production with Definition Theatre. Tremaine, don't move.
I won't. I'm still. I'm still. Frozen like a statue.
So before we froze,
In the before times.
the moment that we froze on was like, tell us about Fat Ham, and
Yes.
it was. So fill in the blanks for us.
Yeah, Fat Ham. It's a kind of Hamlet story. It follows a track, but it follows instead of the Prince of Denmark, it's a queer black man in North Carolina. It's a journey of like self-discovery. It's a coming-of-age story, and really dives into the exploration of like blackness and queerness and expectations. And it's a comedy instead of a tragedy. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, just finding joy in tragic circumstances.
Oh, well, I have no idea of what you speak. Wow, how can you know?
Is this your first show at the Goodman?
This is my first show at the Goodman. Yes,
Exciting.
Usually I used to do more improv and sketch comedy type stuff. So this is the first, like, I've been doing theater in Chicago the last like 7 or so years, but this is the first like play that I'm doing as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So how, I was reading your bio and I saw like incredible. I mean, you got the Curry Fellowship from Second City, like that's huge. You have a lot of improv background. How is that training and skill set? How has that helped you with your performance in Fat Ham?
Oh man, well I think doing a play, having a script is a blessing.
Right.
You know? It's like, oh, I'm making all this stuff up and I have no words. Now we have words. We have a track to go off of. It's consistent every night.
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe how many terrible improv shows I've done that would have been much better with the script.
Yeah, you can't tell me how many terrible improv shows I've seen that would have been better with the script.
I'm so sorry, but also
that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But aside from having that, the crutch of a Pulitzer Prize winning play, where do you I always find, people always knock on comedic actors. I have a theory, mostly because, comedy makes, making people laugh, it makes the audience feel good. Laughing is wonderful and fun, and you get all the feels. And when you can make people cry and they're sad, they're like, oh, this is art. It has to hurt for it to be art, as opposed to, well, not everybody who can make you cry can make you laugh. And I always find if you want the best actors, go towards the comedians.
Preach.
That might be just me being biased,
Right.
But do you find that there is you've entered this, I know it is a comedy, but there is a sense of play within the entire ensemble, or how it seems like improvisers to me sometimes make some of the most best delicious actors on the planet. And we have
I thought the silence meant he was offended.
I thought the silence was he was taking it in and he was choked up and just completely verklempt over the whole situation. But
I can answer that for you.
Please do.
You know who Scott Adsit is?
Who?
Scott Adsit is an improviser. He was on 30 Rock with Tina Fey. He played sort of the stage manager type guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a brilliant actor. He's also a brilliant improviser. And it goes hand in hand.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Well, okay. So unfortunately, I think we should probably, I love you, Tremaine Austin.
Maybe he could come back.
Maybe we can have him back next week when hopefully we get all the gremlins that are coming out. But right now, thank you for muddling through. You are into that right there. This interview has been the spirit of Yes and
improvisation.
The spirit of improvisation. So. Look, if you want to have something, the reviews have been just delicious. The play itself, again, Pulitzer won the 2022 Pulitzer Prize for it.
Ife Butler, get out.
Ife Butler. My brain is. Oh, he plays Larry in the thing. He was just.
I had such a good answer, and I.
Oh my gosh!
So I was waxing poetic to no one at all.
Go, please.
Where did we leave me last?
I have no idea. I think it was about improvisers being really good actors.
Oh yeah, improvisers being really good actors.
I was just saying that the willingness to jump into a moment and play on our toes, especially in a live setting where things do change every night. Like we do have the crutch of a Pulitzer Prize winning script, but there are changes even though the script, and those changes and finding new discoveries in every moment each night is a beautiful thing that can't really be captured in another setting,
Yeah. And let me tell you, for your first play at the Goodman, this cast is ridiculous.
It's unreal.
Ridiculously talented.
It is unreal. Everyone is incredible. Ife Butler has been doing theater for such a long time and is truly holding down.
Yeah,
she's something special.
Tell her I say hey. Say Don Richard says hey.
You offended him.
I offended him. He's gone. He hung up.
Tell Sheldon Brown.
I'm still here.
Oh, there we are. Oh, great. And tell Sheldon. I said,
so was that just dead silence, or
no? It wasn't. It was dropping. It was dropping out. I have no idea. This is a constant surprise.
Well, my friend, listen. I'm going to make the executive decision just to kind of nip this in the bud, because you've been such an incredible sport with our technical difficulties, and you've got a show to do today, but I thank you so much for taking time out for the weirdest interview, perhaps in the 11 years of Out Chicago that I have ever had. And I've talked to some weird people going on here, but Tremaine Alston, you are part of the incredibly gifted cast of some of the brightest stars of Chicago stages at Fat Ham at the Goodman Theater. Congratulations. It just got extended as well. So congrats. Go tell the story. Bring joy to everybody. Come of age. Do all that stuff.
Well, if you can hear me, thank you so much for having me, and this has been a delight.
You've been such a good sport.
Oh my gosh, I have tears in my eyes. I'm laughing so hard. Oh, this is so weird. Tremaine Alston, Fat Ham. Go break all the legs. Be the best you that you can be. And hopefully we can have you back on the show.
I would love that.
Just to talk about whatever and to pay. Like, we need to give you money for just doing this right now.
I'll take it.
There we go. All right. Well,
all right.
I can't even finish talking. Fat Ham runs through March 2nd at goodmantheater.org. They spell their theater with an R-E too, because they're fancy too.
They're fancy schmancy.
Fancy schmancy. Tremaine Alston, thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT. I can't.
I'm proud to be Out Chicago, and you should be proud to be listening to Out Chicago on Chicago's Progressive Talk.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. That, of course, was the lovely and talented Stephanie Miller. You can tune in weekdays from 8 to 11 right here on WCPT.
Every day?
Monday through Friday.
Cool.
Monday through Friday for the Stephanie Miller. And then Monday through Friday from 2 to 5 for the Jen Esposito Show. She got folks coming up. Look at all that.
Mm-hmm.
We got stuff.
Yep.
And, of course, Richard Chew. He's going to have a survivalist on there, which just kind of still makes me giggle a little bit.
So funny.
I know.
I saw you process that in real time, and it was hilarious.
Oh, are we there already? Are we really there? Look, I've been saving some canned goods, but not nearly enough.
Oh my goodness.
What's going on? Oh, but also, hey, listeners, financial planners, CPAs, and for some reason, divorce attorneys, if you are wondering why your mortgage professional has not returned your calls, it's probably because there are over 165,000 mortgage professionals who didn't renew their license over the past 24 months. So if you're purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. So because in the past 24 months, Tanya, in the past 24 months, while other companies have been shutting down and loan officers are not renewing their license, what do you think Team Hochberg has been doing? They've been adding loan officers, and they're stronger than ever and would love to earn your business. So let's review. In the past 24 months, mortgage companies have closed, and over 165,000 loan officers exited the mortgage business. But Team Hochberg, they've been expanding, and they are stronger than ever. So if you'd like to work with an experienced mortgage professional, call Team Hochberg now at 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. The number again is 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. There is that. Now to important stuff.
Yes.
Look, I have been, our last interview was chaos.
Yes.
There's chaos that's happening everywhere.
Yes.
And there's been so much chaos happening that I did not even remember that there was a season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Well, you kind of freaked me out because I texted Scott and I was like, should we talk Drag Race? He's like, Drag Race, is there a season? And, then I went to look at my recordings and all of them were gone. So I thought, did I hallucinate these past few episodes? But I didn't. It did happen, and there is a new season.
There is a new season,
Yes.
and because of you, you're like, hey, it happened.
Because of you.
Because of y'all, I crossed the road on the right side. When
That had to have been
Kelly
nice,
Clarkson's
though. I know. Well, wasn't it nice though?
It was fantastic. Are you kidding me?
Binge watch episodes like that?
Yeah. Although, like you, because of you,
Yeah.
I literally binge watched all the available episodes that were there, like in one night. It was kind of great.
Aw,
It was
that's
fun.
nice. That's
And
nice.
I'm kind of enjoying.
Yeah, they're adorable. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure who's who yet.
Right. It's just like any sort of like Survivor or kind of like a reality thing where you're like, who's who? And,
But they're all very bright and colorful, and I'm like, I enjoy that. I enjoy that.
They are. Yes.
Yeah.
I need to find out the whole list of them because I am kind of like.
You have a favorite? Or
I got a
not
couple
favorite?
people who I'm like, well, I've got some people that are like, oh, you're mean.
Oh.
You're mean.
Well, nobody's as mean as what's their name? Was it Plain Jane?
I think it was Plain Jane.
Plain Jane was mean.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Plain Jane also designed an outfit for somebody who was on the bottom.
Oh, no
Are
way.
you caught up? By the way?
I did not watch this week's yet. So glad you didn't say. But yeah, I one thing that's difficult to sort of reckon with though is how young they are. And this happens the older you get. Any show that you've watched for a long time where you go from they're older than you, then you're their age, and then you're older than them, right? The cast.
Yeah.
And so it is hard to kind of make peace with the fact that these are children.
Some of the,
These are children. And
Well, I
the
know.
oldest one who's considered a vet is 33.
Is 33, Lexi Love, and they call her Auntie Grandma.
I mean,
They call
what?
her Auntie Grandma.
That is crazy.
I know. And I'm so glad you brought that up because the whole time I'm going, wait, what?
I know.
33?
I mean, that's not
33.
okay.
That is not okay at
Auntie
all.
Grandma?
Auntie Grandma.
What
That
would
is
I
my
be
name.
called?
I call myself Grandma Gay.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's just too much. It's like that's a real trip. But Rue looks better than ever this year.
I think she's had some things.
I mean, even just everything though. Like last year was a little off.
Her when RuPaul is in RuPaul Charles drag, like in boy
Yes,
drag.
in drag.
Those like his boy drag.
Oh, his boy drag. Yeah.
The girl.
Fabulous,
Those
right?
suits.
Yeah. He looks great.
I want them.
I know.
I want them so much.
Okay, I have a theory.
All right.
Have you ever noticed that whenever Rue comes out into the what's it called?
The workroom?
The workroom. There's always he always keeps a distance from the contestants.
Yeah.
I am not entirely convinced he's there. I am not entirely convinced he is there. And when they do the finale, he's always like 10 feet away from them to the point where it seems like he's not actually there.
I think that might be some COVID hangover stuff, and or just also trying not to have any sort of, maybe just trying to keep, I'm a judge. Kind of like that sort of just like that physical distance.
There
Or
was
maybe
like
it's just something like within RuPaul. Was
Within
like, don't touch me.
RuPaul, there was like one time last season where he was like in with them dancing. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's delightful. But also the first time that he has stood anywhere near any of them.
Well,
I mean, maybe it is just a Rue thing.
it
but
might just
like,
be a Rue thing.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but look next time. It's like kind of weird. It's not a natural distance.
I gotta wait until the next week.
You do have to
'cause
wait. I
watched
have
all
one
of them.
more.
You have one more? I watched all of them. I watched all of them.
Did your tummy hurt after, or were you okay? Like
I
you
was
ate
fine.
too much sugar?
I had a little bit of a headache, and I'm like, oh, please stop screaming. Why is everybody screaming about everything?
Exactly.
Look, I will say, so I am a huge fan of Anya Nerve.
Okay, walk me through a little. Just
Okay,
remind
Anya
me.
Nerve, she's the one. Here's the one that she is. She actually sings. Oh, you haven't gotten to this.
She sings, but is she the one who sings country?
No,
Oh,
Anya
okay.
Nerve. She's the one who in all of her confessionals keep talking about like, this is going to be about friends, and I don't have any friends, and she
The
comes
kind
to-
of awkward one? Oh, well, we could do
They're
this
all
for an
kind of
hour.
awkward. We could. I
But,
could show, or you
oh,
could
yeah,
just look
show
at
me a picture.
Anya, right there. Her.
Hold, please.
Oh, look, let's go.
Anya. Oh.
I am in love with her.
Yeah, she's great. I was thinking she's probably going to win. She's got...
Really?
I mean, I don't know. That was a quick whatever.
Yeah.
That was a quick take from Tanya's take. But
yes. This is the stuff and junk.
Stuff and junk. Exactly. Yes, she's good.
I really just I like her as a person. There are some people I love. Lucky Stars, who is like your weird alt queen, the one who was in the Big Pizza.
Oh yeah, that's something. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Something going on there.
Joella's funny.
Yes.
You know.
And friends with Katy Perry, apparently.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There we are.
Well, like super fan.
Super fan. Kind of thing. But then there's also in Hormona Lisa, I think she might be a mean girl.
Okay.
I think she might be a mean girl, and I think Arietti might be a mean girl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Arietti is so pretty.
Yeah, but she does that thing where she looks like she's a deer.
Yeah, I don't know.
That makeup.
Who's the one who tap dances?
Susie Toot.
She's adorable.
She's adorbs and growing on me like a fungus.
Yeah.
Because when she first showed
but
up.
I don't like her makeup.
I don't like her makeup.
Like
I don't like her hair. Well, I'll talk about that.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's a good season.
It's a good season, I think, so far. It's a great distraction. And
great
especially,
distraction. Hello, distraction.
And also just something about in terms of celebrating creativity and joy. That is nothing, it is joyful to watch these people do these things.
To do these things and to do it well.
Yeah.
There was a couple of seasons where I was like, okay, because it's skewing younger and younger, do they just not have enough to pull off a whole show? The whatchamacallits can be really bad. What's the big competition where they're sitting and impersonating another person? What's that called?
Oh, Snatch Game.
Snatch Game.
Oh, that
the Snatch Games were getting weaker and weaker and weaker. But I don't know, this group at least has some character and some fun to them.
Well, we'll see, because that doesn't mean that they're actually going to be funny.
No,
because
Snatch
Game is nothing but impersonation.
Snatch Game. Who would you be on Snatch Game?
Oh, no. Kelsey Grammer. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
I was like, what?
No, I have no idea. I've never even thought about that. I will have an answer for you next week. Who would you do?
I would either be, the more obvious choices would be Maya or Oprah. But if I wanted to do something more obscure, I'm going to come up with something more obscure and out of the pocket.
It would have to be something that Rue is familiar with.
Sure.
How
about Tootie from Facts of Life?
But how many jokes can you get out of that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I do.
But Kim Fields was great on Living Single.
She was.
Which, by the way, was the original Friends. Let's get that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Actually, documented. It was the original Friends.
Yeah.
And it was at the same studio. They filmed next door. It was already happening, but because it was a black cast, it wasn't getting all of the advertisements. It wasn't getting all the attention. It's it's 6 friends. I think it's the exact same number. Wait, is it?
There are 4 women, and I think there are 2 dudes that are outside. Yeah.
Then What's It Called comes along and gets all the attention, all the advertising, all the press. And then David Schwimmer has the audacity of hope. We just, love David Schwimmer and his history with Looking Glass, but he kind of said some off-the-cuff thing about Friends' impact over the years, and something to the effect of now I think it would be maybe more of a diverse cast or blah, 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 blah. And Eric Alexander, who's in the original Living Single, was like, hi, David, that would be Living Single.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was pissed.
Yeah. Well, I remember when the Friends cast was on Oprah.
Yes.
And Oprah was like, when are you going to get a black friend? Just right up. I remember it. And I'm like, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
She called them out.
I know.
You don't
that
have any control of the cast.
No, they didn't. Yeah. They didn't. Well, and then you get I don't think they try to apologize for as much as the women of and Just Like That have tried.
Yeah. And failed. miserably. They did not
stick with it, you know?
It did not go well. But yeah, I think it was. How did we get to living single?
I don't know.
But I'm happy that we did.
I think somebody should.
Erica Alexander, she popped up in
yes,
that movie with Jeffrey Wright.
Was it called Erasure? No,
the book is called Erasure, and then the movie that he was nominated for an Academy Award.
And what's her name was in it? Tracy Ellis Ross. She was so good in that. No idea what it was called.
A Stranger, something fiction.
I'm
American Fiction.
Thank you.
Was that what it was?
Maybe. Jeffrey Wright. Let's look.
There we go. You look it up.
I'll look it up.
There we go. So we are professional.
They do this on fancy shows. You have to look it up sometimes.
I know. It's called checking your resources. Or checking your sources.
This should have come up quicker. Hold on. Hi, everyone.
It was a really lovely movie, and it was wonderful.
He was amazing. Did you ever see the movie Basquiat? Ooh, that's an amazing movie. He's so good in that.
He's so good in
it's
everything.
The first time I ever saw him, I'm like, what on earth? Who is that?
Yeah.
This movie is showing up nowhere.
What?
Maybe it didn't exist.
It totally did. He was
I'll
nominated
just type
for an
in
Academy
American
Award.
Fiction. Oh, speaking of Academy Awards.
I know.
Would you like to discuss Academy Awards?
That was my seamless transition.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. It seemed like natural. It was called American Fiction.
I was right.
You were right. I didn't deny you. I was trying to support you.
That's correct. Yes.
I was trying to support.
Yes. Speaking of supporting, I don't know if we've gotten things with SAG yet where people get paid based on streaming stuff yet. But let's pretend that they do. If you can find Living Single streaming, do yourself a favor. Watch it. They're hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Really, really funny.
It's a great group.
It's a great group of people.
Yeah. Queen Latifah. Can we just, for a minute?
UNLT.
Queen Latifah.
UNLT.
But do you understand how underrated she is? Even though she isn't underrated. But also how underrated she is?
Yep.
Like, who the heck else does what Queen Latifah does?
Did you see Bessie?
No, I haven't seen Bessie.
Oh, you haven't?
No. Really?
Tanya's really good.
Is it?
It's really good.
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
I think it's an HBO movie. I thought it was an HBO
I'll have to check
thing,
it out.
maybe, but boy, oh boy, she plays Bessie Smith.
Yeah.
She knocks it out of the park.
She's amazing.
She's really, really great. All of those women on that show. It's Kim Cole, Erica Alexander, and Kim Fields.
That's right.
And Queen Latifah.
And Queen Latifah.
And the two dudes that I can't remember right now.
Kim Fields. She's an icon.
Yes.
Do you think she's an icon?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. All of those facts of life.
Oh, facts of life.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to us. This has got to be the weirdest conversation.
The weirdest conversation. What the hell?
I just clocked it.
I know. Ellen is texting me. She's like, how are you doing? I'm listening to y'all live. I'm like, look, we fall apart, Ellen Miller. We fall apart.
Are we doing okay? We're doing okay, right?
We're not. We're kind of bouncing all over the place. We've had to deal with phone gremlins.
Oh my God, the fact that she texted you, are you all right, is amazing.
I know. She's like, listening live. Huh. That's basically what it was. I'm like, okay, there we go. There we go. But anyway, so the Oscars came out, which is, I like to call it gay Christmas. There's a lot of gay Christmases, though, because you've got the Oscars, the Tonys, and Halloween. So those are all gay Christmases to me. We can have multiple.
That's right.
Don't tell me what to do.
I was going to make a really inappropriate joke, and I stopped myself.
Okay.
Okay.
You can tell me off the air.
Okay.
I would love that.
Yes, the Oscar nominations.
So, Best Picture, which we need to pick one and make sure that we've
Yes, I completely ignored that text. How about Complete Unknown?
Yes, I will totally do that.
Okay, cool. We'll watch that and then we'll talk. I'm back next week to apparently ruin the show.
I know. It's going to be so much fun.
According to Ellen, to ruin the show.
Ellen did not say that. Do not say that. Ellen Miller did not say that you are ruining the show. She's not. She's like, wow, there's just some technical things going on.
But no. So, yes, we have an assignment. And if you'd like to join us, it'll be like a movie club.
Yeah, we have a movie club.
Yes.
Yeah, A Complete Unknown. That is the story of the Bob Dylans with the Timothy Chalamet. Mm-hmm. There we are. It was not. Was it? It wasn't nominated for. Oh, it was. There it is, right there.
Oh,
There
yeah, no, it was nominated.
Because the nominated for the best pictures are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I do have a bone to pick. I loved Conclave. Have you seen Conclave
No,
yet?
I've literally, I don't know if I've had a less of a desire to ever see anything.
You know, it's great. It's kind of fascinating. It takes it, like it pulls the curtain behind the choosing of a new pope.
Sure.
I have no idea why Isabella Rossellini is nominated.
This is what I hear.
I don't get it.
Sometimes people just like to amuse themselves.
It's her. Oh, I know, because right now they're doing a big thing too, because like Demi Moore, this is her first Academy
I know, which
Oscar
actually
nom.
is pretty cool.
It's really cool. Have you seen The Substance?
I haven't seen The Substance because I hear it's incredibly gory.
It is. You will never forget it.
I can't. I don't want to.
Never forget it.
I don't want to.
It is. It's truly remarkable. Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
But it is gory.
Oh, yeah.
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 I don't think I want to see that. The only one of those that you mentioned, other than Wicked, there was one in there that I still wouldn't mind seeing, but a lot of them I just have zero interest.
Really? We're going to commit to doing The Brutalist.
We're committing to that.
Well, we're committing. You and I are committing. Sorry, I was
The Brutalist?
Yeah, that 4-hour movie. No.
You and
Not
Jerry.
You. Me and Jerry. Stop. You didn't let me finish. You just jumped right in.
I was like, don't make me.
No. We've committed to like actually going to a theater to watch it.
Really?
Yes, because it seems like if something's going to be 4 hours long, with a built-in intermission, they want you to see it on a big screen.
Sure.
And it's about,
and I'm sure it's stunning.
I'm sure it's lovely.
I just don't think I have a 4-hour movie in me right now.
I don't think I do either.
Although we did watch a 3-hour one.
Although I did watch four episodes of
Exactly.
Drag Race.
This is what we have to remind ourselves.
But Wicked I think is going to get shut out.
I think it's going to get shut out, and I'm mad about it.
It's going to get we could pick up this conversation.
I know.
Next
We're
week,
thinking the same
there are
thing.
many things. Like it should not have been 2 movies. It should not have been.
That.
It should not have been 3 hours. 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Have you seen Emilia Perez?
Yes.
What do you think?
I loved it.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay.
And I know there's a lot of pushback controversy that we have talked about. But have you seen it?
No.
It's. Again, unlike anything you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful.
Really?
Yep. And I understand that there's controversy that goes along with it.
Right.
But I also, listening to the director and screenwriter who said he intended this as a 4-act opera to make things so big and so large that it's like the scale of it, the operatic scale of it, for some reason justify some of. I know it's horrible. I'm probably going to get hate mail, but please do send me hate mail. I know I'm working, but I think it kind of goes into a whole thing about which we don't have time to pick up this conversation, but we do. I would love to talk about
this is a TBD.
A TBD. We can pick it up next week.
I mean TBC, to be continued.
To be continued. Yeah. But like as we're talking about, like when a community is not represented in film. Does every story need to be every story of that group? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but does it have to be phobic as well, though? I just hear it's transphobic.
Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that.
Homework, everyone. Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown. We're going to do it. Be part of our movie club. All right. Yo, we did it. We did it. We arrived. We're a little tired. I'm thirsty. There we are, but we did it. I want to thank Jamie Lundblad from Looking Glass Theater Company. I really want to thank Tremaine Alston from Fat Ham at Goodman for being such a trooper and muscling through that. Devin, you are incredible and amazing. You can make magic. Paul, you're just there, so thank you, I guess. Tanya Burchard, you are a magical, mystical creature, and I love you, and I cannot wait to see you next week.
I know, right?
And there we are, and I'm Scott Duff, and until next week, stay proud.